Hi everybody, this is Gail Herrera, and I wanted to show you how I created a sound cover for my ukulele using kind of just a DIY version of it. I started having some trouble as we've been playing larger and larger venues with feedback on my lower open strings, and so it was suggested that I needed to get a sound hole cover. So I took a guitar DIY that I saw and I kind of crafted it to what I could find around my house and what would actually fit my ukulele. So first I'm going to give you a sample of what that sounded like before the cover, then I'll show you how I created the cover and then how it sounds now. This is what it sounded like when I was cranked up. It happens on the open lower strings. See how that... See how it grows. You know it's feedback. Okay, so we don't want that. So for the inside of the sound cover, I wound up trying a couple of different things. I saw on YouTube where someone who's doing this for guitar suggested a just cheap sponge. So I got some sponges, and then I got the bottom of I got flip-flops, some cheap flip-flops, and tried that, and even some foam inserts for shoes. In the end, I'd like the sponge the best. Then I went looking for the top of the cover around my house to see what I could find. The person I saw doing this for guitar, which is a much larger sound hole than what my baritone ukulele has, they were using a disc, a CD disc, which is going to be too big. So what I found was and this says something about my house, a Duncan Hines frosting top. So just, you know, the cover for your frosting. And so I took measurements for the sound hole, then I cut the sponge so that it would fit the sound hole. And I haven't sprayed this all yet, just so you could kind of see how it was made. This is the sponge, and then super glued, well, actually I used a silicone-based, here it is, that's what I used. Clear silicone waterproof sealant. I maybe should have used super glue. I'll try that next if it comes apart. This is just the Duncan Hines lid. And then I have one of these kind of art X-Acto knives. And I cut some of the backing off of the sponge because there's not that much room between the strings and the sound hole to slit this down. And I cut the sides off of the Duncan Hines top, so it's smooth instead of having those edges. And then you have to leave room for the fretboard, so there's this cut on the side so that it lines up in the fretboard. So when I slip it in, this is what it looks like because I sprayed the top black. And when I'm done, I'll spray the whole thing backside and front side so that it's completely black. But so that you can see, here's the straight edge, and it looks like a sound hole cover, except that it says Duncan Hines. Okay, so sound hole cover's in. Lower strings. Maybe still hear it a little bit. Now to see how it deadens, it's not as bad as it was. Much better, I think. But if folks have suggestions, I'm open to them. I'll see how this goes, but I think it's a really good solution along with keeping the pickup inside my uke turned down and using the amp to do the heavy lifting. So thanks for the suggestions, folks.